All right, guys, good morning. Thank you for coming, first of all, and hope you enjoyed last night, the drinks and dinner and everything else in between. So let's make this really casual in a way that I'll be presenting this case, but feel, please feel free to interrupt me if you have questions. Of course, we have Q&A in the end, but in the middle of the presentation, if you feel like something pops up in your mind, please interrupt. And the thing is, just to understand, do all you use attachments in Jira and Confluence or never? Like attaching a PDF or a Word file or an Excel to a Confluence sheet or to a Confluence page or to a Jira issue? Did you do that? Okay. So you're the right audience, just trying to figure out if you're in the right room or not. So let's see. So we're here, right, in Anaheim, the land of magic. And the thing is, all the magic is gone when you start searching for your files on SharePoint to bring them to Confluence, right? So, oh, I need a spreadsheet or I need that Word file or whatever, report. And then you start adding links and things go messy because you don't find the file and a lot of things can go wrong. So the thing is, why do we need to leave? If you're working on a page on Confluence, you're focused on a Jira ticket and you're focused, why you need to leave, open a new tab, try to find that plan or that Excel sheet or whatever it is, find it, spend like 10 minutes looking for it, read whatever you need from them, and then go back to what you were writing, and you lose focus, right? You lose time, things go down things go wrong. So you could just click and do your things, right? So usually people don't like SharePoint. They keep using it because they need Office, right? They need to edit the files. That's the why. And you start adding links to Atlassian. You start adding links to your pages, your smart links, to Jira tickets, so on and so forth. And then it starts, the access denied, you added a link, then your colleague goes there, he cannot access, he doesn't have permissions. You know the pain, right? And this takes you hours. If you sum the time along the week and the year, it really takes you a lot of time, kills your productivity, kills your focus, and gets people frustrated. So you need to really get back and kill the context switching. Context switching is really expensive. It's expensive on multiple ways. It's expensive on time, on focus, on frustration and happiness at work. So that's why we are trying to solve this in a way that it just works. You just need to edit something and it works. So what we have here for you guys to show today is the ikuTeam Office. And what it does is provide you the reason why you use SharePoint inside Atlassian. So that is what it does. So instead of having all these links or opening new tabs, finding stuff, wherever you like, you can have your information in context when you need it, when you need it, where you need it, when you need it. So live attachments. We make your attachments that are in Confluence and Jira to come alive. To really come alive. And by coming alive, it means you can play with them, you can see them, you can edit them, you can collaborate on them right in context, whatever you're doing on a Jira ticket or on a Confluence page. Because you should be able to just attach and edit. Simple. If you already have those files there, if you already do it, it fits your workflow, it's how you work, it's how your colleagues work, you're there. So keep switching apps, it's a nightmare. So you just should be able to attach, edit, and save. Done. That should be no context switching, no refocusing, no file hunting, no where is the latest version, no login because the link is broken and permissions are changed or whatever it is. So you should. Yes, the permissions go by the page. So if you have permissions to edit the page, you'll be able to edit the file. If you have permissions to see only the page, you'll be able only to see the file and to read it. So you don't need to think about, okay, this is the page permissions and these are the files permissions. We need now to sync permissions and you know it. So everything works out of the box, like whatever you add there. It respects your permissions that you already set up ages ago, and whatever is in Jira and Confluence, it will respect. And it supports any file from Word, PDF, Excel, and PowerPoints. So even if you have decks on Confluence pages or Jira issues, you can edit them, not just preview them. So you can really, really go. I can have a quick demo for you guys. So this is a typical Confluence page, right? Where you have your attachments in there, like it looks like these small things, right? That's how it works today. And if you install our app, what you can do is way more than that. Like this is an Excel sheet, and this is how it looks like, totally broken, right? If you try to preview an Excel that someone added with a report or with the charts or wherever, this is how it works, right? But now you can just add our macro and select the files that you want to display. You can have multiple macros. You can even have an automatic add for later on. Every time you add a new file to the page, it will just show up. You don't need to reconfigure. You can configure the full layout, allow how do you want the files to look like, and you will see on the right-hand side if you want them collapsed, expand, small header, big header, whatever fits your layout. You can even go as advanced and configure how much pixels do you want for that preview window on each page, so it matches whatever your fancy layout on Confluence and the pages that you're building. And after you're done with it, you just save the page, and this is how your attachments will look like on a page. So this is a Word report, right? So you can have a 500-page report over there. You can scroll through, see it the right way. And an Excel sheet, as you can see, you can go select the tabs, see the actual stuff, not like a dummy preview that doesn't show what you want. And you can even preview in full screen, like, okay, I need more space to read everything. But you're still in context, so you can just kill the preview with clicking the X button, and then you go. And the thing is, if you want to edit, just click the button, and there you go. You can edit your spreadsheet right there. You don't need to download the file, edit the file in your Excel and desktop, upload it again, or go to SharePoint, whatever it is, or Dropbox or Google Drive, whatever you use. So it's just there. It just updates after you edit the file. You can just refresh. The funny part is, imagine that you're editing a file, and then someone goes to the page and clicks the edit button as well at the same time, right? So what happens? Nothing. You just enter in a real-time collaboration session, like it happens on SharePoint, but here. So there is no conflict, no file is locked because someone else is editing. No, just enter on a session. When everyone closes the editing session, the last version is saved to the Confluence page or Jira ticket. And as you could see, you can also go to the file versioning of Confluence, and you will see all the versions that you edited. So you can get that as well. Yeah, even in context, you can play around with the preview. How do you want it to look like? So that's how it works on Confluence. So no more downloads, uploads, because sometimes you just want to edit a cell, right? Update a number, and it takes you half an hour to do that because you need to find the file, the original one, and then there is the versioning. Where is the last version? Is on SharePoint. It's here. It's the one attached. It's on your desktop. It's in someone else's email. So that's why you don't need to. If it's here, if the rest of the context is here, your files can also be there updated. Okay. On Jira, it works exactly the same way. So it respects. It respects your permissions for Jira tickets and attachments. So you attach your files same way as in Confluence. So you have that. You just activate the app, and it will show the attachments right away. So that way you can also, like you did in Confluence, preview spreadsheets with tabs, with charts, with complex data, whatever it is. Word documents, the same thing. So you can have all your you can preview them on full screen if you need more space for that. And it works exactly the same way. So you have the preview button, you have more space to read your report or spec sheet if that's the case. And you can also edit them at any time. You have the magic edit button, and you just click them, and you just edit it right there. That's it. And it not support Microsoft Office, it also supports open office files. So if you are into open source, if you're into ODS, ODF stuff, it's also supported. So, and even the old Microsoft formats, like the Office 2003, right? Even those formats are still supported. So whatever you have there, wherever you throw at your Jira tickets or your pages, we got you covered with one-click editing, with really nice previews. You can consume your Excel sheets with a lot of data without those messy previews that usually people download them to preview them correctly because everything is broken on Jira previews. As you can see, you can really go around and see your stuff the right way. You can even mess with columns and tabs and things like that. So that's what the app does. And on top of that, we stop the license drain, right? So SharePoint's expensive. And if you only use SharePoint because you need to edit files, you don't need to. If you work on Atlassian, you're already paying the Atlassian license. And if you just need to edit a spreadsheet here and there, or a report, or a slide deck, you having a seat on SharePoint for that user, it's expensive. It's a lot of money for just a small usability. So you can stop doing that. You can not just save on context switching, but you actually can save on licensing as well if you don't need that. So it's a double saving that we are kind of offering here. So the app is enterprise ready. It's all built on Forge, the new Atlassian platform. Your files stay inside the Atlassian Cloud, so there is no data moving around and going to wherever, Google Drive, SharePoint, trying to maintain two systems, governance between two systems and things like that. You just need to govern one place and done. Permissions set, you don't need to try to figure out the permissions from SharePoint, the permissions for Atlassian. You can just rely on the permissions that you already configured, right? You already configure who can access the Jira tickets, who can edit Confluence pages, wherever. This will respect your read and write permissions out of the box. And you can have versioning and audit control, so you can see all the edits that happen on a Confluence page, so you'll see all the file versions a long time if you need to audit that later. And yeah, that's one step, and you're done. So right now, today, if you use SharePoint, probably using smart links. That's what you're using. You need to go to SharePoint to preview that. Sometimes you need to authenticate. You don't have permissions for that file for some reason. Then to edit, it works. If you have the license, if you have the permissions, you can edit. And here it's just in a page. It opens a new window right there, and you edit things. You can collaborate in real time. So like in SharePoint, and you don't need a SharePoint account. You can just, like I mentioned before, 2 or 3 of you start editing the document, and you just will pop up the different cursors and with the different names and colors, and there you are. And finally, the context. Like we already have a lot of tabs open on our browsers daily, right? You don't need to find. If you're like me, I have like a lot. Like tabs start to be like 5 pixels width, and it's really hard to find. And this also helps you with that. This is how focus look like without interruptions. So if you're staying focused on a task, whatever it's a report, a chart, and you're working on a Confluence page or on a Jira ticket, after you get focus, if you don't go anywhere else, finding information, because those files that we are mentioning in SharePoint are actually information, right? You're hunting information. And if that information is right there, accessible, and you can access it and even update it with one click, you save a lot of time. People spend like about 20 to 30% a week just hunting for information, just hunting for files, switching context. And that's very painful. It costs you money, time, and frustration, right? Users are, where is this? Where's the last version? And you can even do the math. So if you want to really calculate your return on investment, so you can check how many time you saved by having your attachments accessible in a page or in a Jira ticket. You can multiply that for the hourly rate and how much you save on a Microsoft license, and the cost of our app. Our app costs like, depending on the tier, like $1 to $2 a user a month, and that's like 10 times cheaper than Microsoft, or 20 times depending on the tier that you are with us. And you not just gain money or save money on licensing, you also gain on productivity, focus time, and happiness from your users. And the thing is, it's really easy. Just install the app. If you don't have them already, because many of you already have the attachments in the pages and Jira issues for sure. If you don't, you just drag them from your desktop, and done. You will see your SharePoint usage go to zero. You can test it and confirm that people just use SharePoint because they need to edit files. That's the reason. They have Office there, and Office is powerful, and you need it by the end of the day. And that's how it works. Any questions around this? Because I know many of you cannot get rid of it, right? Regulation demands it. You need to be there. You cannot go away. I feel sorry for you if that's the case, but we have you covered as well. So if that's the case, if for some reason you cannot use that setup, if your regulations do not permit the governance for some reason, we also have a connector that allows you to move. Well, you don't move the data, but you move at least the experience. So all you saw with the macros, with the files embed, with the preview, with the one-click editing, all that works the same. So I will not demo it again because we will be seeing the same thing. The only difference is that instead of the files being stored into Jira tickets or Atlassian or Confluence pages, everything will remain on SharePoint. So you'll see it on Confluence, you'll see it on Jira, you'll have those nice previews, you can configure the macro previews, the layouts, everything, but things are stored in SharePoint and governed there. So that's how it works if you do this way. And what you can do is, well, you just use SharePoint for storage and governance. And permission-wise, you can have two setups. One setup is mirroring the SharePoint permissions. It's just one click. You don't need to set up anything. It just on the setup, you just click one button, and it respects everything in SharePoint. So even if a user goes to a Confluence page, has permissions to edit the page, but do not have permissions for that file in SharePoint, it will be blocked because you want that way. But if you want to be independent from that, you can use the service account to connect SharePoint folders to spaces, and all the files from that folder, or on SharePoint, like a document folder from a website or whatever you decide, will be available on a specific Confluence space or project. Well, now it's not, everything is spaces, right? Jira spaces and Confluence spaces. And it will be right there. And any user that has access to Jira and Confluence will be able to see the files and edit them, even if they don't have a SharePoint account. So you can keep both setups in place, whatever fits your needs, your company workflows and regulations and governance and whatever it is. So yeah, that's how you pretty much save time. And questions? Do you have any additional questions? Was it clear? Permission-wise, licensing-wise, anything? Should.